Can you believe in multiple religions? Like if someone asked you what you believe in and you answered with two or three religions at the same time, and you meant it, that sounds kind of wrong, like something doesn't add up. And I feel like most people would feel that immediately, even if they've never thought about why. Because most religions aren't designed to sit next to each other inside someone's mind. They're designed to explain everything. Where you came from, what you're supposed to do, what matters, what doesn't, what happens when all of this is over. They don't present themselves as optional perspectives you can mix and match. They present themselves as the framework, the truth, the only truth. So the moment you fully accept one religion, everything else gets pushed into a different category. It becomes symbolic, misunderstood, partially true, or partially wrong, or just completely wrong. And I don't even think it's fully being closed-minded, but that's just how the system works. That's how following a religion works. Even though at the same time, if you step back and actually look at all different religions, they all seem pretty familiar. Different stories, different aesthetics, different names, but similar patterns keep showing up. Ideas about discipline, love, restraint, meaning, consequences, hatred, something beyond this life, heaven, hell, Valhalla, limbo, whatever. It starts to feel like you're hearing the same message translated into different languages. And that's where the idea creeps in. If they're all kind of saying similar things, then why does it feel wrong to believe in more than one? Why not just take what resonates from each and build something that feels complete? And I think people already do this, but they just don't say it as I follow multiple religions. Like you'll see someone who identifies with one religion, but they also believe in things that clearly come from somewhere else. Someone might say they follow one tradition, but then they talk about karma or manifestation or energy or fate in ways that don't strictly belong to whatever religion they publicly follow. You'll see people pray, but also talk about the universe like it's a separate force. You'll see people follow rituals, but ignore others completely, even when those rituals are considered just as important within that same religion. And it's a lot more common than you think it is. No one really stops and says, wait, these ideas don't actually belong together, because as long as it feels right, people don't question it that hard. They just accept it as long as it benefits them or it's agreeable to everybody else. But if you didn't take just the good parts from different religions or whatever, different faiths, and you actually tried to mix them seriously, everything kind of changes. It's easy to actually blend ideas when you're not thinking too deeply about them, but if you actually try to commit to multiple religions at the same time, you start running into problems like almost immediately. Because religions don't just differ in style, they make specific claims about reality, about what exists, what doesn't, what's ultimate, what's temporary, what happens after death, what the goal of life even is. And obviously the gods are different as well. And all of these claims that each religions make a lot of the time they don't align. In fact, a lot of them directly contradict each other. And at that point, you don't just get to feel it out anymore. You have to decide on what you actually believe. So if someone were to say if they believe in multiple religions, which I've never seen anyone really do that, and I've never seen anyone say that they're a Buddhist and a Christian, but anyways, if someone were to say that, and they say that they believe in multiple religions, I think what that actually means is that they agree with parts of the religions, not all of it. You're not accepting everything equally, you're selecting, you're picking and choosing. You're keeping what feels right and quietly discarding what doesn't. And that's already happening even for people that only follow one religion. People don't follow everything. They interpret it in a way that's beneficial for them. You know, I see examples of this with Christians all the time. You'll see a very hardcore Christian and a very casual one. This Christian believes that people living a certain type of way is wrong, and this other Christian is fine with people living this certain way as long as they're happy. It's all selective. It just looks more acceptable when it's done within one system instead of across multiple. Take a shot every time I say religion. But when you start choosing what to keep and what to get rid of, you're no longer submitting to a belief system. You're shaping it around yourself instead of letting it shape you. And again, that's not necessarily wrong, but it's different from what religion traditionally asks for. Religion usually requires trust, faith, even in the parts that you don't fully understand or the parts that don't immediately benefit you. But when you combine religions, that trust gets replaced with preference. And instead of you molding into, the ideal person that this religion would produce, instead you become the filter. I think that's why most people don't openly say they believe in multiple religions, even if the actual beliefs are already mixed. Again, if I go back to the label thing, there's comfort in saying, this is what I believe. There's an identity in that. There's clarity. You can fit in a box. But the moment you say I believe in parts of multiple religions, it becomes harder to define. It sounds a little less grounded and unsure and like you're not taking it seriously, I guess. You sound like a hippie. Just from an outside perspective, other people they would question you in their mind, even if what you said is more honest to you. So like, I don't really have like a grand point for this video, or a conclusion to come to. I'm just curious, is there people out there that believe in multiple religions? Because I've never met anyone like that. Have you ever experienced anyone out there that's openly involved in multiple religions? Like, I don't know, on Sunday they'll go to church, and then on Monday they'll go to some Chinese temple or something. Or like, a guy, you go to his house and he has like a picture of Jesus on his wall, and then in his front yard he has a statue of Buddha. And not just as like a joke or anything, like he actually believes in both of those things. Is that a thing? Is that possible? I don't know. Obviously it's possible on a technical standpoint, but it's just a very unconventional way of looking at faith. Is it as complicated as I think it is, or do they have a more relaxed approach to it? Do they struggle with the contradictions that each religion would have? Like, what do they believe in? If there's two different religions, that one says you're gonna go to heaven, one says you're gonna go to Valhalla, and you believe in both of those religions, where do you end up when you die? And if you said you believe in one over the other, then what does that do for the other one? So in the end, can you believe in multiple religions? I don't know. You tell me. But maybe you could, but not without changing what belief actually means. And not without accepting that at some point you're not just following something anymore, you're deciding what deserves to be followed. But yeah, that is all. Goodbye.